You have the same 24 hours that everyone else in the world does. What are you doing with them? How many choices will you make? If tomorrow doesn't happen, would you still be doing what you're about to do today? If the answer is no, then you might want to rethink a few things. But what if you could take control of your own free will? What if you thought you had that power? What would you do? Where would you go? I'm about to show you what I did. For the last several years, I have dreamed of taking a solo journey along the Alaskan Highway to reach the last frontier. I have hyperfixated on this plan for so long, I'm finally setting off to do it. All through high school, I've read countless books, listened to many stories, and watched many movies about Alaska. There are countless challenges along the way, but I plan to make it there no matter what. Okay, stop. Before we go any further, you need to know some context about the Alaskan Highway and what makes it such a challenge. The Alaskan Highway was hastily put together over 8 months in 1942 after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. It was used as a military supply route that stretched 1,520 miles from Dawson Creek, British Columbia, all the way to Delta Junction, Alaska. It was basically just a dirt road through untouched wilderness. Over 30 service members died in the development of the Alaskan Highway due to extreme conditions and weather. While road conditions have improved since the 1940s, it still remains as a major challenge through weather, isolation, and nature, especially in the winter seasons, where the weather can be unpredictable and dangerous. If you don't plan your fuel stops ahead of time or carry extra fuel with you, you are at a major risk of running out of fuel. If you break down and you have no cell service or no way to contact anyone, you are completely at the mercy of any drivers coming by, especially in more rural sections. It's rare to come by. Okay, back to the video.
Good morning. I just woke up about 4 minutes ago. I stopped at a place just outside of this town. This is the start of day 3 on the Alaskan Highway. There's very few fuel stops between here and Whitehorse, and Whitehorse is about 11 hours away. I think there's about 6 places to fuel up the whole way there.
I'd be lying if I said this wasn't a little spooky. The weather's terrible. I'm filling up every chance I get because you never know. You really never know. Kind of spooky being out here on my own. The roads are getting worse, so I'm gonna put up my phone and use both hands.
The weather was getting worse and worse with low visibility on these sketchy mountain roads. Seeing all the wildlife made me realize I'm in their home. This is not man's domain anymore.
Where do I begin? I've been driving for about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. Haven't had cell service for the last 5 hours. I cannot begin to explain to you how rural this place is. I mean, the only indication that humans have ever been to this part of the planet is that road right there. This is the Alaskan Highway. This is the first real pull-off in the last 100 miles. And if I went right or left off of the highway right into the woods, there might not be indication of human life or activity at all for several hundred miles. And again, there's a real beauty to that. Untouched nature, life separate from us humans.
After many hours of driving, things started to take a turn.
I am in the Yukon Territory. There's no fuel stops for 273 kilometers. The next destination is Whitehorse, so let's get to it.
The closer I got to Whitehorse, the better I felt. Seeing signs of human life again was a major relief.
Just filled up for $2 a liter, which I think is like $1.50 a liter or something like that, which is like $5.50 per gallon. I am genuinely scared I didn't save up enough for this. We'll find out in time. I hope we'll make it back without going into debt.
The closer I was getting to Alaska, the more extreme beauty I saw. The landscape and sunset made me feel like I was on a different planet. Words cannot describe how I was feeling in these moments.
Alright, I stopped in Whitehorse in the southern Yukon. It's actually a pretty nice town. Stopped at McDonald's, you know the deal. We'll be in Alaska today, about 5 hours from the border right now. I'm excited, I can't wait. Gosh, this has been one crazy trip. After multiple days of exhausting driving, I was moving at a much slower pace. But after seeing real wild horses and taking a lunch break, I was quickly reminded what makes this highway so special. It's so quiet. You can hear the ice cracking. Wow. I just ran into an older gentleman, but he asked me where I was going. I told him I'm heading to Anchorage, just traveling. I told him I've been in Canada for about 3 days now. And he said, wow, you're moving along pretty quick. I said, yeah, there's not much else to do around here except drive. And he said, that's what I used to think. Till I slowed down, started taking more photos, more videos, looking around more. There's a lot to do, a lot to see. So that kind of hit me. I'm like, I'm not doing this as thoroughly as I could be. So I'm going 20 miles an hour slower. It's a different world out here. Apart from the semi-trucks driving down the highway, miles and miles away, the silence is addictive. You can hear your muscles. You can hear your bones. You can hear your heartbeat. That's how quiet it is. My mind is just free. It's completely free. There's just nothing here. And it's beautiful. Unfortunately, the bliss did not last for long. Road conditions are not much better than gravel. This is terrible. I guess the further up north you get, the worse the road conditions get as well. These road conditions lasted for what felt like hundreds of miles. These roads are terrible. After battling the road and testing the strength of my car, I finally got a spark of hope as we neared the border. Guys, we're approaching the border now. It's coming up. We'll be in Alaska really soon. Well, we made it. Oh my goodness. Gosh, we're in Alaska. We're here. Oh my gosh. It genuinely feels like I'm in Star Wars. It's so quiet here too. The only thing I can hear are the birds and squirrels. I think I heard a chicken at one point. What a state, and I've only been here for like 2 hours. I kept driving for the rest of the day, heading towards Anchorage. Filling up on gas kept making me more and more nervous, but for now, I decided to ignore my bank account and enjoy each moment. Morning, first morning in Alaska. I found this random pullout and I slept in it last night. About to make some breakfast. Behind me is the Matanuska Glacier. It's freaking huge. Part of what the glacier does is it carries debris for miles and miles and miles over many, many years. And over time, it pushes that debris up on the edges. And what I'm standing on right now is actually some of that debris that has been pushed over by the glacier. Worms live in it. There's glacier worms, the ice worms. They got blue bellies, big red eyes, and gray backs. They're about 4 inches long. They're disgusting.
We're in Anchorage. I'm so tired, but we're gonna hit the gym.
For the next several days, I explored Anchorage, gearing up and getting ready to go see Denali. I was waiting to be approved to buy a gun, and I also had to buy more supplies. I slept along the coastal highway, and what I saw those few days were the highlight of my trip.
I just can't believe where I am right now. This is what it's all about right here. This is incredible.
Very few people will ever understand this feeling. What God created here can only be described as heavenly. I truly felt like I had earned this view, and yet it felt like too much. I could have stayed in the same spot for weeks and still felt like I haven't taken it all in.
I found this trail, and we're gonna walk up it and see if we can get some pretty good views. Cruising along, actually, on their own, because why not? Ugh, 1.9 miles. What if I don't want to do that? But what if I do? I got about an hour till sunset. So. There's goats up there. Oh my gosh. Look at those things. Where would I be if I decided to go to college? Where would I be if I decided to give up on this dream of traveling the world, seeing as many things as I possibly can? If you told me 3 years ago that this is where I would be, probably would have cried. I have absolute freedom. That's my absolute dream, is to travel, document the beauty in it, the wisdom it has to share, and get to do it for free. I'm so happy.
I have never been happier in my life. But there's a little problem. I was low on money, and I mean really low. I had less than $1,000 to drive over 4,500 miles back home. But I was not done with Alaska just yet. I set off to see Denali. Alright guys, little update. I'm on my way to Fairbanks now. I came from Anchorage because I was trying to see Denali. But I was looking at the weather, and apparently it's not going to be visible for the remainder of my trip. Forecast is clouds only. So it's literally right there. If I looked over without clouds, I'd be looking up at it. But to see the northern lights, that's what I want to see the most. So I will be going to Fairbanks. Hopefully I get a break in the weather, and I get to see them. Those of you who know me know that a big part of why I'm out here is from the book and the movie Into the Wild of Chris McCandless and his story. And I bring that up because I'm about to pass through the town Healy, which was the closest town Chris McCandless had to him when he passed away. And I am about 30 miles from the original location of
bus 142. The original location of Chris McCandless, where he camped and stayed out here in Alaska. So it is an important place to me.
Well, here it is. When Chris McCandless walked into the wild, he walked right there. Start of the Stampede Trail, which is the trail that goes all the way to where the magic bus was, starts just down there, about less than a quarter mile, about 200 meters that way. But this land is where he walked. He walked that way, he crossed a river, he found the magic bus, and that's where he ended up dying. It's kind of weird. This is where he was. And this is where his journey ended. Unfortunately, I can't go to the bus. From the start of the trailhead, it's about 17 miles there, which is 34 miles back, or total. Can't believe I'm here. I've watched the movie 1,000 times, I've read the book 1,000 times, and now I'm here. Unfortunately, all things must come to an end. With a shortage of money and poor weather for the foreseeable future, I decided to make the treacherous 7-day drive home. I've always lived my life by asking the question, what will you regret the least? Because with whatever decision you make, you have to give up the option of something else. I could have chosen to go to college, but I know I'd forever regret not traveling the world while I'm young and healthy. You are faced with many little decisions every single day, but for too many people, they make the choices they'll ultimately regret when they realize their time is coming around the corner. Don't waste the precious time you've been given. Your life is in your hands, so take action while you still can.